because we are going to be leading things off by talking about this past collision that just happened the day before this came out, because a few big things did happen on the show. One, we got a big moment between Toni Storm and Megan Bayne, where she ended up getting attacked by Penelope Ford, ended up taking her out, and then here comes Megan Bayne to hit Fatal Influence, I think was the name of the move. Fatal Destination, Fatal Dynasty, Fatal something, F5, man. It's an F5. I don't know the dang name of the actual move. I don't really care for it. It's not really that good of a name, I'm gonna be honest. It's definitely not a good name if I can't remember it. But Megan Bayne ended up coming out, just kind of, pushing more towards this pushing more towards this Toni Storm Megan Bayne match. But the interesting thing here is that Toni Storm is gonna be having a matchup with Penelope Ford on Dynamite, which I think is going to be leading to, obviously, Toni Storm beating Penelope Ford, and then Penelope Ford eventually getting involved in one Megan Bayne match. Or they could go the way of Megan Bayne comes out there and attacks Toni Storm, which causes, it would give Penelope Ford the win, but it wouldn't give her the clean win, so she wouldn't really have much of a stake to claim to potentially ever get the AEW Women's Championship, which could make her a bit annoyed with Megan Bayne, because she could look at it as jealous. Maybe Penelope Ford was getting close to a win, and Megan Bayne just didn't like that, at least, in Penelope Ford's head. Really, Megan Bayne was just wanting to beat up on Toni Storm, so it's very possible that what I had said before, that Penelope Ford is going to be getting involved in this match, it's likely going to be happening, which leads to a big Megan Bayne Penelope Ford feud. Not a big Megan Bayne Penelope Ford feud, but like a big enough feud, at least for Megan Bayne going forward. And now she'll be able to work with somebody who's kind of classified as a jobber, be able to go against some of the top stars like Kris Statlander, Thunder Rosa, Toni Storm. Probably going to lose the match to Toni Storm. Obviously would lose the match to Toni Storm, and then be able to kind of run through Penelope Ford real quick, probably get into the Owen Hart Women's Tournament as well. And I'm assuming he's going to be doing something at All In. I think it's probably about time that either we have those women tag belts and maybe we put Megan Bayne in the tag team, or we have, well, then if you do that, you kind of would just put her with Penelope Ford. But if we don't do that, maybe like that, oh my goodness gracious, the Casino Gauntlet match. My goodness, I got so tongue-tied, tripping over my words like Jey Uso. Hey, it's me, Goku. My goodness, I can't stop laughing now. But I think that they should probably add something at Dynasty. Not at Dynasty, at All In, because you're gonna want more to do with what's her name, with the Megan Bayne and a few other women on the roster as well. So yeah, I can see something like that happening with Megan Bayne at least. I think AEW would be like the wisest thing to do is by adding the Casino Gauntlet. You really gotta find something to do with your women's division, because you're starting to get a lot of women and you don't have much to do with them. A lot of them are not getting shown off. I ain't seen Hikaru Shida since, my goodness, man. I think it's been a couple years now, Tony Khan. It's been a couple years now. Britt Baker out here in wherever doing people's teeth. I didn't even know she was actually a dentist until somebody told me on my live today that she actually is a dentist, and apparently she had a PhD and all that. I still don't believe it, because when the heck did you get your PhD, and how were you wrestling at the exact same time as you were going to like medical school and all that? It just sounds weird to me, but sure, maybe that's why she ain't caught up with the times, or maybe she's not that great of a dentist, and I think I definitely wouldn't want to go to her. Dear God, no. But it does explain why her finisher, the lockjaw. I just thought that like it was like a thing, like maybe she always wanted to be a dentist, but then I kind of thought about it and I was like, who just grows up and wants to be a dentist of all people? No offense to the dentist out there, by the way. If you're a dentist and you're listening to this, I hope you're enjoying the show and all that. Not to be offending you, but I don't know how many people just like, grow up and be like, yeah, dentist. That sounds like the cool profession to do. I want to have my fingers in people's mouths all day. And I want to be smelling stank breath and getting out all the plaque and all that stuff. Like, no. Then again, I guess who grows up and wants to be a garbage man? But, you know what? Bills got to be paid, man. Bills got to be paid. Hey, I didn't grow up wanting to be a teacher, and somehow I ended up doing that. So, yeah. But, shout out to Britt Baker, though, man. Out here cleaning folks' mouths and, giving folks a lockjaw. Which now I'm wondering if she actually gives a real lockjaw and then just resets your mouth afterwards. Oh, my God. No, I would never want her to do that. That would also make so much sense as to why she's so comfortable putting her fingers in your dang mouth. But then again, Bray Wyatt did that. What if Bray Wyatt was a dentist? Bray Wyatt would be a funny dentist. imagine going like you just go to the dentist and it's Bray Wyatt's Firefly Funhouse. Oh God, I'd be scared. Then you got the Fiend just coming out of nowhere. It's like, hey, you gonna take this cleaning? You gonna take it? All right? You gonna stop throwing a fit over here? Oh gosh, no! Imagine Bray Wyatt and Britt Baker both being your dentist. Oh dear. Okay, let's go back to Collision, man, because we gotta talk about Mercedes Moné and Athena, because it is official. It's officially official, even though I basically said it was official the last episode. Now it's actually official. But I do want to talk about Miss Robyn Renegade real quick, because she just showed out. She just showed out, and I think she might have just got herself a contract. If she didn't get one, Tony Khan, put the contract, have her sign it, say, here you go. You're going to be here for at least the next 2 years. Go out there and make a name for yourself and become a star, because that's what Robyn Renegade is going to be. I think that she has star potential. She's showed a lot on Ring of Honor and on a Rampage. She's shown a lot against the likes of Jamie Hayter, Willow Nightingale, Thunder Rosa, and she showed the heck out against Mercedes Moné. In just that little segment, in just that little match, she already had a better match than a lot of other folk have had against Mercedes Moné. And I got to say, I think that she deserves this contract, man. If she didn't get it, she's got to get it. She's somebody that I have some faith in. Not faith in. She's somebody that I have some hope in could be a pretty big thing within the women's division. Maybe she has to, she has to start from the bottom, work her way up like the Ring of Honor and stuff like that. TV champion, Ring of Honor Women's Champion eventually. Maybe she could even get to, the TBS title and the world title someday. I'm proud of her, though, man. So shout out to you. You took that opportunity, absolutely killed it. The match was phenomenal, and you sold the heck out of that moneymaker, too, man. So like I said, a lot of folk ain't been able to do that. When it comes to that moneymaker, sometimes it look really, really good. Sometimes it look really, really trash. And it's not always because Mercedes is taking so long to set it up. A lot of times it has to just do with the sell and how much, you make it look like a devastating move. And Robyn Renegade, she did that. So shout out to her. She's making a name for herself. I'm happy for her, proud of her. Salute to you. But Mercedes Moné versus Athena, big money match is official. Don't know when the heck it's gonna be happening, though, because now I'm confused on this whole entire thing, because I thought what was going to happen is that we were going to get Mercedes Moné versus Athena to be happening at Dynasty, and that she was going to be dethroning Athena there. That's still very possible, and I believe that is probably the best route we should go, because you could have Mercedes Moné dethrone Athena at Dynasty. I thought I saw a bug over there on my dang poster, so I was like, what the heck was that? I think it might have been like something in my eye, though. It might have been like my eyelashes. They are pretty dang long for some reason. Growing up, every woman used to be jealous of my eyelashes, and I never understood why, because I hated them. They were always in my eyes every single day, always bugging the heck out of me. They're really long for no dang reason, but getting so sidetracked this episode. But what was I at? Oh yeah, I think it should happen at Dynasty, though, because you have Mercedes dethrone Athena there. Then I think you have Athena defeat Mercedes by getting her, get back by defeating Mercedes in the Owen Hart Cup finale. Then have Athena go on to fight one Toni Storm at All In. What you could also do with Mercedes Moné as well, which would be really, really cool, is that we can further this boss gimmick, the CEO gimmick, by having her win the Ring of Honor championship and then going on to Ring of Honor and changing the minions in training to the CEOs in training. That'd be kind of cool. That would be pretty dang cool. Takes over Athena's whole entire gimmick, and now we got a whole new little thing for Mercedes Moné to do. This also does allow Athena to either A, get control of her minions again someday, or B, kind of, change it to a new character, because eventually that character is going to get stale. And I think that she's been doing it for 2 years now. It hasn't gotten stale yet. So, shout out to Athena. But I think that, she probably, we probably should end this before it does get stale and end it on a high note by having her, lose at least to somebody as prominent as one Mercedes Moné, and not losing to somebody that's like, up and coming and all that stuff. Unless it was like Billy Starks or Diamante, which would be pretty cool. I think she should just lose it early on, though, because what this also allows is that if you have Mercedes Moné and you have Athena going into All In, you have them going into the finale for the Owen Hart Cup tournament, and you potentially have, Mercedes Moné lose the match, This is gonna start having some very weird things because what does she do going into All In? Like, there's not really gonna be anybody that's really gonna be able to challenge her because everybody's gonna be focused on the Owen Hart Cup tournament. I guess they're also gonna be trying to get focused on who's gonna get to All In to be able to actually have a match there. So you could potentially have like a TBS title tournament to be able to face Mercedes Moné at Dynasty. I mean, at All In. I keep saying Dynasty when Dynasty sounds like a much cooler, like super big, ultra mega pay-per-view comparable to WrestleMania than All In does. I don't really like how All In. I don't really like All In, to be honest. I like Dynasty a lot more. It sounds a lot better. But you could do that. I think the only problem is then you don't really build up a big enough storyline going into All In because Double or Nothing is the 25th, and then you have All In on the 12th. That's only about a week or that isn't that like only like 2 weeks at the most? Wait, I'm stupid. That's July 12th, not June 12th. So I guess if you did it like a tournament, you probably would do like a 2-week tournament. So that would take you to about middle of June. Then I guess you would have 4 weeks. Okay, I guess that's not too bad, but they do this thing of like Dynamite Collision. So maybe you want to go like 3 to 4 weeks instead with the tournament. That way, then, you could have Mercedes Moné kind of just taking a little bit of time off or, potentially creating like little just things here and there to see like, oh, who's going to win the tournament? Then you have like a fatal 4-way triple threat, whatever you do for it. Then you only have like 2 weeks to build it up. I think then, though, you do run into the problem of if it's somebody that can't really speak on the mic, they can't really build the story up that well. And that's kind of what happened last year with Mercedes Moné and Britt Baker. Please don't ever be my dentist because I have said some things about you. If you hear these things, you might be a little extra aggressive with it. Like, I remember this one time I went to the dentist, man, and there was this dude that so I had braces at one point, right? And then, actually, let me tell you all that too real quickly. I had braces at one point, got COVID when I had my retainer on, and my dentist told me like, hey, don't put the dang retainer on, because then it's going to be a hard time cleaning and all that stuff. You ain't got the right cleaning products, and it might not be good to have in your mouth, yada, yada, yada. Took the retainer out for like 2 weeks. Teeth shifted, all that. Couldn't wear the retainer ever again because I tried to pop it in, and my teeth were killing me. But when I still had my retainers, I had to get like spacers and all that stuff. Man, tell me why this guy was like ripping through my mouth with the dang thread. I'm like, bruh. I'm over here like bleeding, like not like any like light bleeding out. Like how like sometimes you like you'll floss a little too hard and you start bleeding. No, y'all. Blood was dripping down my mouth. That's how bad it was. I'm like, bruh, I'm dead ass I'm gonna punch you right now if you don't stop with this dang thread. They had to the head dentist was like, yo, what's going on? I'm like, bro, do you not see me bleeding over here? I'm like, dude, I am bleeding. This is not good. This should not be happening. I'm like, hey, I flossed before. This man over here, acting like he's trying to remove my jaw from my body by cutting it off. And I think they fired bro because I ain't never seen bro ever again. So if you out there, screw you, screw you, man. You have my mouth hurting for like a good 2 weeks after that too, bro. I had a big old cut in my mouth and everything. Oh, it was the worst. But yeah, no, I think that they should be careful with who they have going into eventually to potentially dethrone Mercedes because you're gonna want a really big storyline going in. You're not gonna want some super cheap storyline. You're not gonna want something where it's just like, oh, I'm gonna dethrone you because you're a tyrant. I gotta get rid of you. No, it's gotta be something that's like really, really personal. So I think the best storyline, if you're gonna do a personal storyline, would be Kris Statlander because she has the whole feud that she had with Mercedes Moné. Back in late 2024. We already know it's going to be a fire match. We know that already, so we don't even got to worry about that. Have a fire feud as well. And Kris Statlander is somebody that can talk on the mic as well. I did also say, though, that I want Kris Statlander and Willow Nightingale to be the ones, kind of getting the inaugural Women's Championships or at least potentially being a tag team. But there is always a world where, you could have Kris Statlander being your TBS champion, and then you could have her potentially lose it because Mariah May and Marina Shirakawa get involved, or maybe what happens is like Mariah May and Marina Shirakawa are attacking Willow Nightingale for a few weeks, and Kris sees it in like a match with Willow and Mariah or Willow and Mina, and then Mariah gets involved. Eventually, they win the match, and then Mariah and Mina start jumping on her, and Chris Statlander comes out there and helps her because obviously that's someone that she's, reconciling a friendship with. Because they once had a friendship. Then eventually Mina and Mariah cost Chris Statlander her TBS title, and then Chris and Willow eventually create this big old storyline with Mina and Mariah, and then they get the women's tag team belts off of them. If that does happen, then you have Mariah and Mina potentially having like another part of their feud. They can like really finish off their feud. Then Mariah can get back into that world title picture, that TBS title picture. You probably want to put it like to the world title picture though, but honestly, if you put it into the TBS title picture, I'm not even mad at that either. You could easily have like a one-off feud with, well, no, you wouldn't do Chris Statlander because she would already have the belts. Whoever's holding that belt, to be honest, whoever Chris Statlander loses the belt to, it could be Megan Bayne if you really wanted to go that way as well. Maybe Mariah May gets into a feud with Megan Bayne, or Mariah May gets into a feud with whoever's holding the world championship around that time. It probably would be Athena, so she probably wouldn't be getting the belt back. So I think the best place to go would likely be Megan Bayne. So yeah, you could do all of this. I do like the thought of it if you decide to go this way. I don't know if they're going to go this way, though, because of the fact that they have both of the women in the Owen Hart Cup tournament. So it doesn't look like they're going to have this match at Dynasty. So, yeah, no, my bad. They could end up going this way, though. They could. I don't know if they're going to go this way, but I would love for them to go this way. There's also the thing, though, with... if you don't go this way, what is your other way that you're potentially going to be going? Because you don't want to, you don't want to go away where like Mercedes just loses the belt to whatever. Or, Athena goes into All In with the Ring of Honor Championship and the AEW Women's World Championship. And now she hasn't lost, now she hasn't lost either one of them. Now she's just a double champion in both brands. And I understand that maybe there's not somebody you can give the belt to, but giving the belt to Mercedes is the best person to drop the belt to, especially if Billie Starkz is not ready to be holding that belt yet, because then Mercedes can also train Billie. That's two people who have been able to train her now, two absolute stars and some of the best women wrestlers on the dang planet, some of the best women wrestlers in the history of women's wrestling. So if she gets all that and she still can't be whatever the heck you think she's supposed to be, then I don't know, buddy. Maybe you got to go find somebody else at that point. But I think Billie Starkz has it all. I think Billie Starkz is not ready just yet, but give her about another year. She's definitely going to be ready. It is like another year-long reign with that belt for the Ring of Honor Championship, and you're going to be having Mercedes Moné holding 5 belts. But you could always, do this thing with Mercedes where she gets the Ring of Honor Women's Championship. She's, hot stuff, all this stuff on top, loses the belt at All In, and then she starts losing the rest of her belts, and now she kind of starts cracking and all that stuff and really going off on her CEOs in training, and then eventually Billie Starkz does get the Ring of Honor Women's Championship from her later in the year. Then I think what you could do from there is you could have Mercedes Moné, I would say you could have Mercedes Moné potentially go away for a while, come back. Maybe Athena's still holding that belt going into All In, and then Mercedes Moné versus Athena part 3, especially if we did get, part 1 at Dynasty. We got part 2 at Double or Nothing. Then we get part 3 at next year's All In. That would be absolutely amazing. But her contract is ending in 2026, so unless she does extend it for like another 2 years, which I would love for her to do, because there's a reason to go back to WWE. There's Rhea Ripley, there's Tiffany Stratton, there's women there, but it's like, I would just love for her to stay in AEW and kind of just at least get the AEW Women's World Championship, have a really big match at All In. Potentially her and Athena could main event. She would be, hey man, that'd be 2 main events now for Mercedes Moné in 2 major professions. That would be, especially like in their shows of shows. It'd also be her. She would also be the first black woman to be able to have not only a main event at WrestleMania, but a main event at All In as well. And then we'd have 2 black women main eventing both shows. That'd be really dang cool. I would really love to see that. So I think Mercedes Moné should get the Ring of Honor Women's Championship and go down to won Ring of Honor. Now, a few of the things that were pretty interesting from last night's Collision were, one, Kevin Knight and his match with Jay White. I absolutely loved it. It was a phenomenal match. I love the fact that Jay White was also able to, give a moment to Kevin Knight, and he was able to really, big up the guy, letting everybody know that, hey, this guy's, he's someone to look out for, man. He's gotten the stamp of approval from Shelton Benjamin. He's now gotten it from Jay White, which I'm also glad that Jay White didn't go heel, because we would have never gotten this moment, even though fans would have still recognized that, hey, Kevin Knight is somebody that, if he gets signed, he probably is one of the futures. I would love for Kevin Knight to get signed to AEW. He's one of the guys. He's one of the NIL athletes that I really have a lot of respect for, because he said, you know what, I'm not gonna do it the WWE way. I'm gonna come up through the Indies and all that stuff. And I don't have too much of a problem with the ones that come up through WWE. It's just that when they come up through WWE, they usually get pushed to the moon, and it's just like, now you're in championship pictures, and I don't really think you deserve to be in those pictures yet. I don't really like it, but this is a guy that's really come up, gotten some tag team belts. He's been in TNA. He's been around the likes of Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin. He's been in IWGP. I mean, he's been IWGP. He's been in New Japan in IWGP Tag Team Championships. I think he was in a Junior Tag Team Championship as well. Or tag team as well. No, he was a junior tag team champion as well. I think something like that, whatever it was called. I forgot what that other tag team belt is called. He's been in Ring of Honor a bit. He's been on Rampage a bit. I think he's a guy that now it's getting closer and closer for time for him to be signed by somebody. He's a guy that I've had my eye on for a minute now, ever since I was able to watch that Shelton Benjamin match. And I think that this guy is he's really, really good, man. He has the look, he has the ability. We got to see about the mic skill. I think from what I've seen from his mic skills, they're decent. I only seen like one promo though, so it wasn't really much. It wasn't even that long of a promo, so can't really judge him off that one promo, but I think he's a guy that I think it's time for him to get signed, AEW, you missed out on Lucky Ali. I don't know why you let the guy go. I guess he did show a bit more, though, in Deadlock Pro Wrestling than he did show in AEW, because I went back and I watched a little bit of it. Wasn't what I had seen in Deadlock Pro Wrestling, so maybe they just, didn't see it. Still is a fumble, though. Still 1,000% is a fumble. I would love for them to pick up Kevin Knight to kind of make up for that fumble, because this is a guy that's on the Indies right now that I think is doing a lot of big work. I don't know what's up with Mike Santana and why nobody's looking at him, because I think he's also a guy who's doing a lot of great work on the indie scene as well. He's going to be having a big match against Konosuke Takeshita. I think he's currently is he the House of Glory champion, or is he the West Coast Pro Wrestling? No, he's the House of Glory champion. He's going to be getting a match against Konosuke Takeshita. He's had a great match against Penta and Kenta. I wonder if there's anybody out there named Senta and Renta and Tenta and Winta. Start getting all the Entas. He's going to be entering into AEW. Just tomatoes, man. Just drop tomatoes in the comments. Go ahead. I already know it. But there's a lot of people in the indies, though, that I've been finding out a lot more about. The other day on live, I was watching, it was like 2 or 3 in the morning. I started doing this thing where it's like, if I ever find time, I'm either going to be writing really late, or I'm going to be, watch some indie wrestling really late. I didn't need to be on the game so much, even though I am loving the hell out of Assassin's Creed Shadows. My goodness, one of my favorite Assassin's Creed games of all time. But I've been trying to watch a lot of indie wrestling, so I've been watching a lot of West Coast pro wrestling. I want to eventually get to a show, because they're not too far from me out in San Francisco. I think they're just throughout the West Coast area, though, so it might not just be San Francisco. But I got to see Starboy Charlie, phenomenal. The tag team that he was in against the Grizzled Young Veterans, also they look really dang good. I really hope someone picks them up soon as well. But he was in a tag team with I forgot the guy's name. I want to say it was. Let me get this guy's name, because I don't feel right not saying this guy's name properly. It was the Crushers, Titus Alexander and Starboy Charlie versus the Grizzled Young Veterans. I also got to see Zara Zacher versus Johnny Robbie. I got a lot of stock in both of them. Zara Zacher is a WWE ID, so I think that they have first dibs on her, or they're just at least spotlighting her If they don't get her though, I think AEW is somebody that definitely should pick her up, and Johnny Robbie as well. They put on a top tier match. My goodness, man. And I'm starting to think that Zara Zacher might be this El Grande Americano. I don't know, man. Got the singlets, got the German suplex. I don't know. I'm just saying, the skin colors look a little different, but there's always the possibility, a little spray paint, a little what's the reverse of getting like what's it called? A sunburnt and all that stuff. Not sunburnt, tanned and all that stuff. Whatever the reverse tanning is, Maybe she got like a little faded, like how black shirts can get faded. Maybe she went to like some like science lab and all that stuff and say, hey, look, let me get faded for like this match right here. Also sound like she got high. I'm not saying that. I don't know, man. Maybe I'm saying maybe you never know, man. We don't know who the heck El Grande Americano is, but I got to see a lot of their matches. I plan on watching some more matches as well. I had a few people sending me their matches too. I didn't get to watch those just yet. So yeah, sadly I did not get to watch those just yet because it's been a really busy week. really busy week, but I'm gonna get to those matches as well, and I'll eventually start talking about them too. But yeah, no, I'm excited for a lot of these indie guys that are getting a lot of shine now because of the fact that WWE and AEW, AEW's been pushing WWE to be a lot bigger, but also pushing them or be a lot better. And AEW is also pushing them to kind of focus on the indie scene as well, because AEW has been picking up a lot of these indie guys. They've been working with the likes of CMLL, New Japan. I know these aren't indie companies. I think CMLL might actually be an indie company, but I could be mistaken on that. But they've been working with a lot of the indie companies as well because they got their wrestlers going over there. I think I talked about it last episode. The Mercedes Moné was facing Indy Hartwell at House of Glory. Konosuke Takeshita is facing Mike Santana at House of Glory. You got to see Daniel Garcia, I think, also went to West Coast Pro Wrestling as well and was working with the Crushers. If I'm not mistaken, it was that company, but it could have been no. It was it was West Coast Pro Wrestling. It was Sinner and Saint and Alan Angels versus Daniel Garcia and the Crushers. So we're starting to see that a lot of these AEW guys are, well, we're not starting to see because they've been doing it, but because they've been going to indie companies and all that stuff, and they've been, kind of scouting talent as well. Let's be real, probably scouting some talent for AEW. WWE's taking notice, and they're really starting to scan a lot of talent in the indie scene as well, and not just the NIL athletes. I hope not. So, I am happy for a lot of these indie guys. I'm also happy for the likes of Blake Christian, who got a really great match against Commander tonight on Collision as well. He did lose his streak. Sadly, he did lose at least his single streak. It's not on Ring of Honor, though, so technically speaking, he hasn't really lost his streak. Commander right now, no, not Commander, Hologram, my bad, Hologram. He's like 22-0 right now. I'm assuming that he's probably going to end up getting some kind of Ring of Honor championship match soon. He's got to be getting a match against Commander eventually, or against Chris Jericho maybe, but we are getting Chris Jericho versus Bandito, which maybe that's the guy to end up dethroning one Chris Jericho. I wouldn't be too surprised. It's going to be a mask versus title match, so I'm assuming it has to be Chris Jericho losing that match, and then probably Brian Keith or somebody turning on him. I hope so, at least. I would love to see that, because Brian Keith and Big Bill also had a pretty good match tonight as well. I forgot who they ended up facing. Oh, they ended up facing Top Flight. They ended up facing Top Flight. They had a pretty good match. AR Fox came out to help out Top Flight against Leo Rush, and I think his name is Action Andretti. I could be wrong about that. And they're called the Crew, or whatever their name is. Yeah, it's the Crew, but it's CRU to be like, cool. Ooh, it's all cool. No, that name is trash. The fans gave like 30,000 other great names, and they read them off, and they're like, yeah, no, the Crew. It's like, no, we're just adding to the list of very trash names in AEW when it comes to faction and tag teams. And I mean, besides the Hurt Syndicate, that's pretty cool. Well, no, the Hurt Syndicate is ass. I'm sorry, man. You could have been like the Hurt organization, the Hurt company, the Hurt, I don't know, man. Anything better than the Syndicate, bro. What the hell is this, Assassin's Creed? Like, no, bro. Watch, man. Mariah May and Mina Shirakawa are going to have a trash team name, bro. It ain't going to be Rose Gold. It's going to be like, probably going to have to do something with boobs. It probably will. Oh, my God. Well, Stardom wasn't the name of the company. They could be Stardom. Like, that'd be cool because they both have Stardom ties. They could be like Stardom boobs. I don't know, man. They're gonna do something with it. We already know. We know how it is. Unless like everybody wants Mina May, Mariah, Mina May, I don't know. Everybody, I don't know. We just, y'all drop a tag team name for Mariah May and Marina Shirakawa down below, man, because Rose Gold's the best one I got. I don't know what y'all got, but I guarantee whatever we all come up with, AEW is gonna be like, good name, good name, good name. That's too good of a name. No, that's too good of a name too. No, we can't go with that one now. That one right there. The trash one. If you're watching this on YouTube, I'm not calling you the trash one. Unless you're Alberto Del Rio, then you are the trash one. Or unless you're Rob Van Dam, you got a trash comment.